نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. I welcome all of you once again, and we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thank Him for allowing us to spend some good time, alhamdulillah, in the masjid, studying together and reviewing together these very important chapters about the salat. Salat, prayer, is very important and very beneficial for us Muslims. Alhamdulillah. But the prayer that's going to help us and benefit us is the prayer that is done correctly. And everything for us to do it correctly, we should learn how to do it correctly. That's why we are learning once again, alhamdulillah, and reviewing together these matters of the prayer, alhamdulillah. This is our fifth and the last session in these 3 days, alhamdulillah, about the salat. We talked in the previous sessions about the importance of the salat in Islam, the virtues and the merits of the salat. We talked also about the conditions of the salat, 9 conditions. We talked about and we learned together the 14 pillars of the salat. You have them all in this booklet, alhamdulillah, that you can keep for yourself. Then we learned about the obligatory acts of the salat, there are 8 of them. And then we learned about the sunnah, those optional things that you do in the salat. And there are many as related to the whether statements or actions. We're going to continue, and also we learned about a brief description of the salat of the Prophet ﷺ, how the Prophet ﷺ performed the prayer. Because we Muslims, alhamdulillah, anything we want to do, we want to learn how the Prophet ﷺ did it. Okay? Now we're going to continue on chapter Babun fi bayani ma yukrahu bis salat. There is certain things that is detestable and disliked in the salat, meaning that you should not do, you should stay away from. And these are, as we're going to learn, you're going to see that how certain people, some of us, we fall into these mistakes. And we should correct these mistakes. And we should help others who may be guilty or actually falling into these mistakes as well in a nice way. The Shaykh says it is disliked in the salat to turn around with one's face and chest. You don't. Once you stand in front of Allah, you stand straight. Don't be moving here and there in the salat. You don't. The Prophet ﷺ says, هُوَ اخْتِلَاسٌ يَخْتَلِسُهُ الشَّيْطَانُ مِنْ صَلَاةِ الْعَبْدِ. Those moves and those turns that the person doing the salat, it is what Satan, shaitan, which is, he's an enemy to us. Shaitan doesn't want good for us. This is what shaitan steals from the prayer of any one of you. Look, you have money. You worked hard for it. You don't want somebody to come and steal your money that you worked hard for. Likewise, salat is very important. You want shaitan to come and steal some of your salat. You want your salat, all of it, to be for you on the day of judgment. Yes, you're right. See? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Unless the Shaykh says if there is a need, it may be need for a person to move, like in a state of fear, for example. Somebody is afraid from an enemy. Now, in this case, you may turn towards the enemy to keep an eye on the enemy. That's permissible. All right? Or if there is a sound reason. Now, if a person turn his entire body or give his back to the Kaaba or the direction of the Qibla, not having a valid reason, such in a state of fear or something, the salat will be void. Salat will be void and no good. Why? Because this person is not facing the Qibla and he doesn't have a valid excuse for not to do so. So therefore, turning in the Salat in a state of fear, it's okay. Especially in a time if the Muslims are fighting the enemies. Yeah, of course, and if the enemy is not towards the Qibla, is towards the opposite of the Qibla. So in the time of the Salat, the believers, they will face the enemy, to keep an eye on the enemy. Okay? Because this is from the beauty of Islam and the ease of Islam. Now, if it's not the case of fear, if a person deviate a little bit with his face and chest, not the entire body, person still standing towards the Qibla, but moves his head or his chest slightly. If he was for a reason, there is a valid reason, then it's okay. If it's a valid reason, then it's okay. But if there is no reason, then it becomes disliked. It's disliked. So once again, when we stand straight towards the Qibla. You don't stand straight and then go like this. Therefore, you see some people, one of the mistakes, you see some people, they want to like get into the first line, row, and then it's so tight that they can't even stand like this. You see them standing like this. They stand like this because they can't stand. There is no room. I don't know if you've seen this before. Somebody want to squeeze in the line, but there's not enough room for him. So much so he make it difficult for the other people. He cannot do this. There is no room. So he will go like this. The Qibla is this way, but now his chest is facing this way. That's dislike. If you come late, and this usually happen on Jumu'ah, usually happen on Taraweeh. Somebody want to come late and he want to be in the first row, that doesn't work like that. If you want the first row, earn it. Come early. If you come late, if any one of us come late, I just pray where is comfortable to pray. I shouldn't make people uncomfortable. People, they came way before me, and I'm just going to squeeze, jump into the row, and make everybody uncomfortable. That's not good. That's not something we do, okay? But if a person now turns with his entire body from the Qibla, Salat is void, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, and not correct. Yes. Come closer so I can hear you. Come here, please. And you too. Yeah, he can come. Come. What's your name? Come here, Omar. Give me salam. Yeah. You're a good boy, Omar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. MashaAllah. How old are you, Omar? You're 3 years old? Give him a copy too, inshallah. Go sit down and read with us, okay? Omar. Okay. All right, go ahead. What do you want to say?
What if you're standing in prayer during Jumu'ah and someone tries to squeeze next to you and now you don't have enough room? What do you do in that situation?
He said, if the young boy, he said, what if you're standing in Jumu'ah and somebody tried to squeeze in front of you, next to you, and now you're not comfortable, what do you do? If you're not in a salat yet, they didn't start the salat, you tell him nicely, hey, there's not enough room for you. Go pray over there. But if it's in the salat, you guys already praying and somebody squeeze and make you uncomfortable, if that person realizes himself that what he did is wrong and he step back, it's okay. But if you're uncomfortable and you're like this, then you move back. And you be on a place when you can be comfortable. Yeah, and the ulama, they said, if you are in a place that you are not comfortable, you have to be where you are comfortable. And the ulama, they mention another example. You're standing next to someone who, for example, this person smokes cigarettes. And may Allah have mercy on those who smoke cigarettes and aid them to quit. But sometimes those people, they don't understand that smell is offensive to people. Of course, this person, he's not going to smoke in the masjid, but sometimes they smoke right there outside in a parking lot, and then they come right in the masjid and it smells bad. Them, they don't smell it because they're smoking. If you really like that, you're that person that can't stand that smell, you can change. You can change your spot. It's okay. All right? Now.
Following with his question, what happens if you're in the front row and there's no room for you to go? Like what he was saying, like someone squeezes in, or like if
you be patient, inshallah. You be patient.
Okay.
Inshallah. Now.
I have a quick question, Sheikh.
Okay.
During Taraweeh, I've seen people that when we go in sajda, they go like this.
No, that's not good.
Right next to them, you can even have no room to go.
I know. The brother, he says, especially in Taraweeh, he says, some people when they go for sujood, they put their arms and elbows away, far away from their sides. Actually, that's from the Sunnah. We just learned that in a previous session. It is from the Sunnah that when you prostrate, make sure that your elbows are not touching your sides. We don't pray like this. You pray like this. However, if you are praying by yourself, do that. If you're praying next to people and you cannot do it, don't do it. Because that's from the Sunnah. Actually, for a person to try to practice Sunnah, and then he's going to harm the people next to him, which is haram. So you don't want to do Sunnah that leads to haram. Okay? This is very important. So people should know that. But sometimes people don't know. That's why we are learning, so that we can do what is right, inshallah. Now, also it is disliked for the person to raise their heads towards the ceilings of the masjid or whatever, okay? Alright? That's something that disliked. We learned in the previous session that it is from the sunan of the salat that while you're standing, you look down in front of you. Preferably at the position, at the spot when you're going to prostrate, you put your forehead. That's from the sunnah. So therefore it is disliked to look towards the sky or the ceiling. Some people, they stand like this and they like this. You don't know if they're praying or not. Actually, at one time I saw this. I was walking. It was this masjid in one of the states, another state. And then I'm walking in. The masjid was like when you walk, is towards the Qibla. So when you start walking to put your shoes away in the back, you pass and the people, if they praying, they facing you as you go. And I've seen this man, he's like this, and he's smiling and looking. And then when I get close to him, I say, Salaam alaikum. He's like this. I'm like, what's up with him? Then after that, he finishes, he's like, Akhi, you don't know, you're not supposed to give salam to someone who's praying. I said, really, you were praying, brother? I'm sorry. He said, yeah. I said, but you were smiling, looking at me, looking up there. I didn't know you were praying. Some people, you don't know if they were praying. The Prophet ﷺ said, actually he criticized such an act so bitterly that he continued saying they should stop looking towards the sky during the prayer, or else their eyesight would be taken away. Subhanallah. This is serious. So remember, ya ikhwan, we don't look all over. Once you're praying, look towards you. and fix your sight on one spot, and that's what you do. Doesn't matter what happened. That's why it is legislated to go close to a sutra. Go close to a person. Choose the best place to pray. Somewhere when usually you know that nobody gonna come in front of you. There is not commotions going on, so that nothing will disturb your khushu', inshallah ta'ala. Okay? Likewise, and especially also the ulama, they mentioned that you should pray in an area, and especially in front of you, should not be stuff that should distract you. Okay? And that's why in the masajid, Sheikh Fawzan himself and Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, they said, you shouldn't be nothing. People should not put stuff in front of the people. Towards the Qibla, they shouldn't put books. Some people, they put books, they put oils, they put other stuff in front. So when the people say Allahu Akbar, they're looking at everything. Nothing's supposed to be towards the Qibla. Nothing. So that to help the people to concentrate. Okay? Likewise, from the thing that are disliked in the Salat, closing of the eyes for no reason. For a person to close his or her eyes, and there is no reason for that. Okay? Because that's from the action of the Jews. Some people, they think, as soon as they say Allahu Akbar, and they close their eyes. The whole Salat. Why? Khushu'ah, brother. What's khushu'ah? No, you should learn the Salat. They think, I'm going to close my eyes, and that's it. And alhamdulillah. They don't open their eyes until they do what? Finish. La. This is disliked in the Salat. You open your eyes. You don't close your eyes. Rather, this is from the action of the Jews when they do their things. They close their eyes. But the Shaykh says, but if there is a reason for you to close your eyes, then it's okay. It's okay. It's not disliked. Such as closing them to avoid looking at what may distract one during prayer, like decorations, ornaments, etc. For example, you're praying somewhere else. You're not praying in your home. You're not praying in the masjid. You're praying somewhere, and then there's people passing in front of you, things going on, and they distracting you. Then you can close your eyes. In that case, you can close your eyes to avoid the distraction. Okay? Now, this is what similar to what Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala has mentioned. Likewise, from the things that are disliked in the Salat, something that is called the iq'a'. Okay? The iq'a', which is to lean on one's forearms when sitting during prayer. As the Prophet ﷺ said, إذا رفعت رأسك من السجود فلا تقع كما يقع الكلب. When you raise your head after prostration, do not squat as a dog squat. Okay? This is because remember, in the previous chapter, we learned how to sit between the two prostrations. We learned how to sit between the two prostrations. You do your best that you sit on your left foot, and you erect the right foot with the toes facing the Qibla, pointing towards the Qibla if you can. Some people, they sit. I think I'm going to ask you to demonstrate. Put your feet this way and sit. Like that. See, you don't sit like that. You don't sit like that. In sujood, you don't sit like that. And also, put them like that and sit like, not like that. Put them this way. Like this. There you go, together like this, together. They together like that. You don't sit like that neither. Okay? That's how dogs they sit. So you don't sit like that. So subhanAllah, even the way you sit, it makes a difference. Some people, they do something, they sit something and it's a disliked position. And some people, they avoid it and they get rewarded by Allah. It's all about getting the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Likewise, it is disliked for a person to lean on a wall or the like when standing during the prayer. Okay? You don't just like stand and because you're close to the wall, now you lean against the wall and think, mashallah. You should stand straight. Unless if there is a reason, a necessity for that, such as an illness. Okay, if somebody is ill or very tired or whatever, as leaning on something facilitates standing up, that's okay, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? Likewise, from the things that are disliked, to put one's forearms flat while prostrating, like this. The elbows touching the ground as well. That's disliked in the salah. You're supposed to raise your elbows up. Shouldn't be like this. Should be like this actually, okay? Your palms of the hands are touching the ground, not your forearms and your elbows. So that is disliked, to put one's forearms flat while prostrating, stretching them with elbows touching the ground. Now, because the Prophet ﷺ says, يَعْتَدِلُ فِي السُّجُودِ وَلَا يَبْسُطْ أَحَدُكُمْ دِرَاعِهِ بِسَطَ الْكَلْبِ. Prophet ﷺ says, perform the prostration properly and do not put your forearms flat with elbows touching the ground like a dog. That's what the dogs, you seen a dog sitting before? They go like this. They put their forearm like this. And we don't do that. Okay? Our elbows are not touching the ground like this in the sujood. You got that, Omar? You got that? Good. You got it? Show me? But, okay. Go ahead. You want to say something? Yeah, he's paying attention. You're paying attention, right?
Yeah.
All right.
For the Power Rangers to fight.
Hey. Give me a high five. You got it, buddy. 100. Allah يبارك فيه ويحفظه. How old are you, Omar? How old are you? 3. You're 3? MashaAllah. 3 years old and you participate. Allahumma barak. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Also, it is disliked something that is called al-abath fi salat. Al-abath fi salat. This is something, subhanAllah, that some people are, Allahu musta'an, they are guilty of. It is disliked as well to trifle in a prayer, such as playing with one's leg, beard, garment, or anything else during the prayer, or playing with one's hand on the ground and so on. So it's once you pray, you pray. It's not like you're praying and then like, then he take off his glasses, put them on again. If he has glasses, not like this. And some people, they even check their pockets. Some people even go beyond that. The phone, they like buzz. They look at the phone again and put it back. No, they don't do these things in the salah. You focus on the people that continue your life. Especially those who have beard, mashallah. The whole salah, they're like this. He's in salat. No. You want to really take care of your beard, do it before the salah. Spend 10 minutes doing that, it's okay. But once you say Allahu Akbar, that's it. Unless if there is a reason. Maybe you feel like something in your beard, like a little insect or whatever bothering you. Yes, you do something about it. You're itchy, for example. You don't move for every itch. If there is that itching is really bothering you, then you scratch it a little bit once enough, and then that's it. But to just person constantly like this, all this, no, this is not good in the salah. All right? Barakallahu feekum. Also, all right, it is also disliked, or among the act that disliked is placing one's hands on one's waist during prayer. As such, a posture is related to the unbelievers and the arrogant people. And the Prophet ﷺ forbade Muslims to imitate them. It is authentically stated in the hadith related by Al-Bukhari and Muslim rahimahumullah that the Prophet ﷺ forbade performing prayer with the hand on the waist. Okay? With the hands on the waist.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
So that posture, I guess, like this.
Yes.
And that's forbidden in the prayer. But what about daily life? Like you should just try not to do that.
It's okay, you can do it if there is a reason for it. But if there is no reason, you leave it alone. Person wants to just stand like this. No. But if there is a reason to do it, sometimes you may want to like jog in or whatever, doing some objects or whatever, and you hold on over there, that's okay. But if it's not, this is something that the person doesn't do usually. Okay? Likewise, from the thing that are disliked in the salat, the interlacings of the fingers. Interlacing one's fingers and cracking one's knuckles are also, right, Adam? In the salat, not outside the salat. That's perfect timing, Adam. But in the salat, okay? In the salat, you don't crack your knuckles, okay? In the salat. Also, it is disliked for one to perform prayer while there is some distracting things in front of that person. Like such as drawings on the prayer mat, as this negatively affect the perfection of one's prayer. I want to share with you something here. If you want to pray on a rag, you shouldn't have all these ornaments and decorations. You know, those people who sell rags and prayer rags, they call them prayer rags. They become creative and they have all different types of whatever. But one thing, I read the fatwa of Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, rahimahullah. He was asked about what about those prayer rags, they call them prayer rags, that they have the image of the Kaaba on. He says it's not permissible to pray on them. And those ones are almost everywhere. And people, they want those especially to go to the Kaaba. He says you can't stand in the Kaaba, and that's not, okay? I just want to share that with you, alhamdulillah, so that you do something about that. So if you want to pray, pray on something that is simple, something that is plain. Alright? Also, it is disliked to perform the prayer in a place where there are paintings or drawings, as this is in a way resembles idolatry, that and be they hang on walls or not, according to the valid view in this regard. Once again, you don't pray in a place that have pictures and stuff, unless in a time of necessity, in a case of necessity. Sometimes people, they ask this question. They say, he's the only Muslim in the family, and he goes and visits his grandma or his parents, and they have pictures everywhere. There is not even a single room in that house except they have pictures. Of course, that person is not going to take it upon himself and put down all the pictures. That's not his house. So where do you pray? Try your best to pray. If there is a masjid close by, that's where you're going to go. There is no masjid. There is a basement that they have no pictures, or there is a room upstairs has no pictures, or there is a room that have less pictures. That's where you want to pray. And if there is, you cannot escape, then pray and fear Allah to the best of your abilities. Also, it is disliked to perform prayer while being disturbed by something, such as one's need to answer the call of nature, meaning to urinate or something like that. Alright? So this is something very important. You cannot just enter the salat. You know you're going to use the bathroom, and you know what's going on, and you're really like, it's on your mind. Don't say, I'm just going to hold it until I finish the prayer. And now instead of focusing on the prayer, your mind is on what? Just going to the bathroom. So you don't do that. Just go to the bathroom. Even if the salat is called, go do your thing. Use the bathroom. Get straight. Make wudu. And then come and pray. If they still praying, alhamdulillah. Even if they finish, there is nothing against you. Because you were doing something that it's okay for you. You're not going to enter in the salat and your mind is busy with something else. You're not going to benefit from that salat. No. And your name again? Huh? Tanjib. Okay, Tanjib.
My question is, when they're in the middle of salat and you join in, I've heard that you're supposed to do, at the end when you realize how many rakats you've missed out on, you're supposed to not say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah on both sides and instead get up and do
Yes, that's true. That's true, Tanjib. If a person come late, for example, let's say somebody come for Salatul Isha, and that person, he came late and he caught only 2 rakat, and Isha is 4 rakat. So this person, he prayed only 2 with the Imam and with the group. So he's not going to make taslim with the Imam because he still have to make 2 rakat. So he will wait. He will do everything, tashahhud and wait, sit. Once the Imam says, Salaamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullah, Salaamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullah, then that person will stand and make 2 rakats. And then he will make tashahhud again at the end, and then that person will make taslim, Salaamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullah. He doesn't say Salaamu Alaikum and then make the salat la. Okay? And also, it is disliked for a person to engage in the salat while being disturbed by extreme hot or cold weather or extreme hunger or thirst. Okay? As such issues hinder one from performing prayer tranquility and submissively. Person is very cold, it's like shivering. No, go get a jacket. Go get some clothing or whatever, okay? So this is very important. Likewise, if a person is very hungry and food is served, you go eat. You don't enter the salat, but your mind is on what? On the food instead of the... Especially if you're in a masjid, for example, and food served is out there, and you know that people out there eating, and it is only a little bit of food. What's going to come in your mind? Man, they're not going to leave nothing. I know those brothers. This is all gone. He's in a salat and thinking about the food now. So what salat is this? La, you go eat a little bit, alhamdulillah, and then you finish, then join the salat. Then you join the salat. Salat is important. The khushu' is important. It's not about just like standing there. No, your mind and heart has to be present as well. It's not about, that's why it came in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, people they pray, they may be in the same row, but this person have only the 1/8 of reward of the salah. This have only the 1/4 of it. This one have half of it. They're not equal. People they sit in right next to each other, but this person get the reward more than this one get less than the other one. Not based on their colors, not based on their age, not based on their nationality. It's based on these things, how they perform the prayer. It's not enough to just stand in there. It's a good thing when a person leave home, work, and come to the masjid. But then you already done that, so make the best of it. Don't just be here by your body and everybody know, oh yeah, brother was here, mashallah. Yeah, but how much you get from the salat? The mind, the state of mind, and the state of heart. Of course, if someone who's standing and humbling, he know he's standing in front of Allah, and he humble himself, and he's contemplating on everything he said. When he hears the Imam reciting, mashallah, it penetrates his heart. Is he like someone who the Imam reciting and he's counting money? The Imam reciting and the man behind is making plans? He don't even know the Imam in one rak'ah he is. If the Imam pray 5th rak'ah of Dhuhr, he pray, no problem, because he's not even here. He don't even know what rak'ah the Imam is in. A 2nd rak'ah, the 5th, 7th, he don't even know. So that's a big difference. No. So it is also disliked to perform prayer in the presence of the delicious food, that one desires. As the Prophet ﷺ said, La salata bihadrati. Aynam Shaykh.
Question, extreme hunger or thirst during Ramadan. By Zohar or Asr, you are really hungry and thirsty. So what?
No, that's too different. In Ramadan, we don't eat and we don't drink.
No, I know that. But it says, it doesn't qualify.
This is, in Ramadan, we don't eat and we don't drink. This is outside Ramadan. Outside Ramadan. On a normal day, not Ramadan. You're not fasting. You're not fasting, and then you have that extreme hunger, then you go eat. But if you're fasting, even if you have that extreme hunger, you don't supposed to eat until Maghrib. Okay, Shaykh?
Correct, I know that. Everybody. But just, to make it more.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fik. Now, so in Ramadan, we know if a person is hungry, alhamdulillah, that's okay. Everybody get hungry. Now it's different if somebody is so hungry that he's getting sick. Now that person can break his fast. If he's getting sick now, let's say somebody is so hungry or so thirsty because it's so hot and he works out outdoors, and that person is gonna pass out. Of course, that person now he cannot fast anymore. He breaks his fast that day. And then he will make it up after Ramadan. But the next day, he's not going to say, why is the same thing is going to happen to me? La. And he go and eat breakfast. Now he will fast again. And alhamdulillah, if he finished the day, the ulama, they said that's good for him. If he went through a hardship, Allah will reward him. The greater the hardship, the greater the reward. But if he went through the same thing and he become he's going to pass out, he's getting very sick, then he can break the fast. But here, what he meant here, outside of fasting, and if a food is served and that you desire and it's going to disturb you, then you go eat and then pray, inshallah ta'ala. No. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith in Sahih Muslim, لا صلاة بحضرة طعام ولا هو يدافعه الأخبثان. No prayer should be performed when the food is present or when one is prompted by the call of nature. Amen. So if you desire food, go eat first. And then pray so that your mind can be, alhamdulillah, free. If you have to use the bathroom, don't say, okay, I can hold it for 10 minutes. And you're just like, all what's in your mind is the bathroom. And then you see some people, as soon as the Imam says, Salaamu Alaikum, they run to the bathroom. What is that? Just go use the bathroom, alhamdulillah, and come to the salat, inshallah. Now, The Shaykh, he said, the Muslim should avoid such disliked issues to observe the obligations decreed by Allah, the Exalted Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, devoutly to Him, and to stand before Allah in prayer attentively, with tranquility and humility. Aina. It is also disliked now.
My question is, sometimes you are in Salat and somebody came late, they come and stand right next to you. They do that. Is that something that will...
If they continue doing that, they're going to break their keys.
I've seen it so many times, and you are trying to concentrate, and
No, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, you're right. He said, the brother said sometimes people, they come late and then they have keys and then they throw the keys in front of them. Allah Akbar. And then they disturb the people khushu'as. La. Why you want to throw the keys for? Who says you throw your keys? Keep your keys in your pocket. Oh, they don't have pockets.
No, they have pockets. It just becomes uncomfortable. It's better for them to just.
Okay, so if it's comfortable, let's put them down. Don't throw them. Put them down between their feet. Put them down a little bit, then rise up and say Allahu Akbar. Now, but don't avoid any moves or any things that will disturb the people. Okay? Yeah. Jazakallah khair. You did it so well, man. You almost broke your keys. You sure you didn't do it before? You're good at it. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair.
That looked like it was a perfect example.
Huh?
Looks like the perfect example.
Yeah, like he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Alhamdulillah. At least he's honest. Jazakallah khair. No, that's true, ya Ikhwan. Sometimes we see things that some people they do, because remember, some of us we do things we don't remember, we don't pay attention to. Or sometimes we do things and we think it's okay to do. We talk to the people. That's why, subhanAllah, attending the classes, we learn so much. And then we save ourselves from humiliation. Because when we do something that is not right and the person is going to look at you, subhanAllah, this brother is all grown up and don't even know how to stand in the salat. He's all grown up and you ask the person, how long you been praying? 30 years strong, brother. But you still don't know how to stand in the salat? 30 years of praying, you still don't know how to make ruku' sujood? See, that's a problem. That's a big problem. May Allah aid us, akhwan, and help us. It is disliked as well to make prostration restricted to the forehead, excluding the nose, as maintained by a group of heretics called heretics, Ar-Rafida, imitating whom is prohibited. Now, so when you prostrate, you make sure that your nose and forehead touch the ground, not just the head, the forehead. Some they even not even a forehead, they like the head, their head like this. Okay? Heretics. It is also disliked to wipe whatever attached to one's forehead or nose during prayer following prostration, yet one is allowed to do so after finishing the prayer. This is usually when you pray outdoor, and especially if you don't have a mat or rag that you put in front of you, and especially if you pray on the ground, and then you see that some little sand or little pebbles, whatever, sticking to you. If you remove them, it's okay. But it's disliked to do that and wait until after the salat is over, unless if something is disturbing you. Sometimes you prostrate and there is a little pebble sticking in you and hurting you. It's okay. It is also disliked, ikhwan, during prayer to play with one's beard. Okay? You don't keep playing with your beard. Leave it alone. Or to hem one's garment. Some people, they enter in the salat and then he's standing, then he make ruku'. He's not making ruku'. The imam is still reciting. That person is already down. Why? Now he's flipping and folding their pants. Can't do this. You want to take care of your pants, do it before the salat. Okay? Or some people, they begin to clean their nose and stuff and digging in their nose while in the salat. As this distracts one's attention in a prayer. He says, in brief, Muslims are required to stand before Allah during prayer in full devotion, in both heart and soul. See, not just by the body. It's not enough that you stand in salat, but your mind has to be present. You have to focus. Your heart has to be present. Doing nothing that may distract you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, حَافِظُوا عَلَى الصَّلَوَاتِ وَالصَّلَاةِ الْوُسْطَى وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. Maintain with care the obligatory prayers, and in particular the middle prayer, Asr prayer. And stand before Allah devoutly obedient. If you have any question, let me just finish this, and then the next 10 minutes or so we're going to devote it for the questions, inshallah. So therefore, we conclude this session and this seminar, inshallah ta'ala. Allah reward you for attending. He said, accordingly, Muslims are required to perform prayer attentively, submissively, and devoutly, observing what is decreed to be done therein, and refraining from whatever act or word that may affect its validity. By doing so, their prayer will be performed properly, both in form and essence. It will be a valid and sufficient prayer. May Allah guide us all to goodness and felicity in both this world and the hereafter. I'd like to thank you all. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feekum for attending this seminar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq and success. I'd like to thank also, after thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thank our family here, brothers and sisters in the ICPB, the Islamic Center of Palm Beach, for their devotion, alhamdulillah, and for their zeal and efforts of promoting the sunnah, the tawheed, the proper aqidah, the correct aqidah upon the manhaj of as-salaf as-salih. They've been doing this for a few years, mashallah, jazakallah khair, almost 10 years now doing this. Many seminars, many events, jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fihum. We know that these events take efforts. May Allah reward all of you. I'm sure there's a lot of you that, mashallah, they're not known, they don't want to be known, their efforts, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah reward you for your efforts. Continue the good work. We're just happy to be part of this great effort. May Allah preserve you all. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fikum. Naam, Tanjib, Faddal, you were going to say something.